everyone, I'm Jen, and today I am going to do a tag video because I want to and it's fun and the lovely Moon Petrie told me to, so I'm gonna do exactly what she said. Let's get started. This is the author origin tag, so we're gonna get down into my origins. Why does that sound dirty? I don't know why, but it is. Let's do it. In case you wonder why I'm looking at my phone, I've got the questions on here, so I'm trying to save paper. I'm trying to save the world, okay? This question is backstory. When and why did you start writing? How old were you? In which genres did you begin writing? I'm not the typical writer that says, oh, I started writing when I was a kid and, I always wanted to be a writer. That just wasn't me. I, would love to say that. I'd love to be part of the group that says, I was doing this forever, but I wasn't. I did not like reading growing up because I was terrible at it. I did not like writing growing up because I was terrible at it, but I loved stories. Usually they came out in watching movies with my dad, and that was a way that we bonded growing up. So a lot of my writing started because him and I would pick apart stories from different movies that we watched, and we would laugh at some of the plot holes and do all that sort of thing. And finally I was like, I could probably write something better than that. And he's like, well, why don't you? And it kind of took me aback. I didn't even think I could. So I sat down and started writing, and that was when I was about 15 years old, and I wrote my first screenplay. It was kind of just dabbling after that, but I didn't really seriously get involved in writing until my junior year in college, where I took a screenwriting course, and I just really fell in love. Story was always something that was very close to my heart in one way or another, and so I just loved every bit of it. And no matter what I did, and no matter what jobs I took, I always ended up coming back to story. So that's why I ended up becoming a writer. You'd think someone with chronic fatigue would have less energy than a camera battery, but apparently that's not the case. Okay, where was I? Oh, genres. As far as genres, I have never really picked a genre. I don't think I ever will. I love too many genres, both reading and writing. Why settle for one? And I think it's becoming more and more acceptable for authors to write in multiple genres, so I'm just gonna go with it. Next we have protagonist. What was your first main character like? How has your taste muses changed since then? My first protagonist, which was in that screenplay I wrote when I was 15, was a complete and total self-insert. It's one of those novice things you do that, of course you're gonna fantasize about, a world you could live in and, becoming the super person or whatever. I don't even remember what that first screenplay was about, to be honest. But even though that character was a self-insert, she was nothing like me. She was a completely bold and courageous and, a really go-getter person, which while I am a go-getter, I tend to avoid conflict and err on the side of everybody get along, and she wasn't so much that. But it was kind of a person I wanted to be, so I figured, hey, I know a lot about that person because I fantasize about being that kind of person. Since then, I've expanded my horizons a bit from the self-insert, thank goodness. I think about characters individually and build them from the ground up, maybe using some influences from people that I've known in life, but rarely do I ever use actual whole people in order to copy them over to a person, and I definitely don't like using myself. Antagonist. What's the worst writing advice or feedback you ever received? What was your first rejection or confidence-breaking experience like? The worst writing advice I've ever received is that you have to write every day. It actually put me into the burnout that I'm currently in because I always felt like I was less than, that I wasn't a true author because I wasn't writing every day. And even if it was for physical reasons, like I was having a migraine or something like that, I still felt like a failure, and that really pushed me away from writing. And so I would never say that to anyone. You do not have to write every single day to be a writer. Write when you can, that's it. My first confidence-breaking moment, I would say that was in college during my senior year when I was applying to grad school. I was trying to apply to film school for grad school because I thought that's what I wanted to do. It ended up being a blessing in disguise that I didn't get accepted to any of those schools. Though for me, that was a big honk and hit in the ego. And I thought, oh, all of them think I'm not good enough, so maybe I'm not good enough. Which was kind of true. I was not ready to go into a graduate level film program. but it also made me question a lot of things. And I already suffer from a lot of imposter syndrome, so that kind of helped that along a bit. Superpower. What part of writing or the writing process do you feel is your greatest strength? Emotion, showing versus telling, drafting, revising, character flaws, etc. To be honest, I think dialogue is probably my strongest area. I pay attention to conversations, and that's usually why I don't talk a whole lot when I'm in conversations, is because I'm paying attention to how everyone is interacting with each other and how they speak and what words they're specifically using and why they're using them and how that relates to who they are. And I really applied that very strongly into my screenwriting when I was starting off with that, which is very dialogue heavy, but I've also carried it into my novels. So I think I'm really good at dialogue. KRYPTONITE. What part of writing or the writing process do you feel is your weakest? Drafting. I'm so impatient. I just want to get to the end so that I can start editing. I just turn into an absolute fusspot when I'm drafting. I have a lot of issue with the whole ass in chair thing, but when I have something to work with, that gives me something that I feel is concrete, but the actual initial drafting part is just training montage. What strengths or weaknesses changed over the years? Additionally, what have you done over the years to better your craft? To better my craft, I have taken classes, I've read books, I've gotten feedback. Those are the ultimate things that anyone can do to improve their craft. And I've tried to lean very heavily on keeping up to date and trying new things and making sure that my skills and my craft are working at the best level that I can at any given time. As far as strengths and weaknesses over time, editing has definitely gotten better. In school, editing was the absolute worst, eye scratching out thing. I could not stand it. My motto was, I wrote what I wanted to the first time. I said what I meant and I meant what I said. Obviously, we know that that's not good. Your first draft is crap. And while I put out a solid first draft because I do put so much effort into that first draft, it's still crap. It still needs some work and it still has to be edited. So I focused a lot of time and effort on learning how to edit better, and I feel like I've really grown in that area. Weapon of choice. What programs have you used over your writing journey? What is your favorite right now and why? For screenwriting, I used Final Draft. That was basically the standard for screenwriting, so I wanted to jump right into the main program that everybody uses. For novel writing, I used Scrivener for a pretty long time, but recently I've actually started switching over to Google Docs, and that has been really helpful, like surprisingly helpful. I think I get so bogged down in all the stuff that Scrivener can do that it actually overwhelms me and then I can't think, so I get distracted much easier. But with Google Docs, it's just that one document that I'm working on. And I've found that having that and having like a separate notebook that has my notes and things like that in it, that seems to work better for me. Trusted sidekick. Every Batman has his Robin. What is your favorite companion to cuddle or consume while writing? Has this changed over the years? If so, does this also differ from daytime and nighttime? You will have seen my cuddle buddy, Willie, in other videos, or if you follow me on Instagram or Twitter, I post photos of him like all the freaking time. There's no way that you can't see him if you follow me for more than 5 minutes. He is my snuggler. I love him so much. But to be honest, this is the thing that I have with me at every writing session. It's the Dr. Pepper with real sugar. I can't do the hyper corn syrup stuff because it just tastes weird to me. But yeah, I have to have my caffeine. Zero to hero. When you first began this journey, what level of success did you imagine for yourself? Is where you're currently at on your writing journey heading for the destination? If not, how has your dream evolved over the years? I thought I was going to be a screenwriter in Hollywood, to be honest. So writing novels is not a terribly big departure from where I was originally going, but it is definitely different, and I honestly wouldn't have it any other way. I love writing novels and I just keep pushing on. My idea of success is pretty fluid, so over time it can tend to change. And I've learned that for my mental health is the best way to go about it. Remember my name, fame. What authors helped you realize your interest or passion for writing? What books helped shape your writing style, genre of choice, or tastes? Pretty much everything I read influences what I write. Even the movies that I watch influence it. I don't think that there's any one book or author or thing in particular that has helped me along the way, but really it's been the culmination of all of them. So, to be honest, it's everyone. It's all writers. Marvel versus DC. Marvel. Comparison is dangerous. How has comparing your author journey to others dismantled or helped your own? Any advice to overcome this? Comparison sucks. I still do it. Still do it. But it's really hard not to. You're seeing people online every day talking about all the wonderful things that they have going on in their career, and it's really hard not to look at that and say, oh, I want that for myself. Now, I've never been one to think that because they have it, I can't have it, or because they have it, that means that I'm not gonna get it. I'm 100% supportive of my writer friends, and when they have something wonderful happen in their author career, I am 100% the biggest cheerleader I can possibly be. That being said, it is hard not to want that for myself. But I also know that a lot of that is on me. I need to start writing, I need to push my career forward, and those things can happen for me too. I think the idea of overcoming comparison, it's kind of a hard one to nail down, because really it's about who you're focusing on. Are you gonna focus on other people's careers, or are you gonna focus on your own? I would rather focus on my career and celebrate with my friends, because it's a much happier way to live. The obligatory love interest. Looking back on your earliest projects, what genres have you grown to love or hate to write? I think every genre I write in it because I love it. I haven't really changed as far as that's concerned. I think I've added more genres, but I've not really taken any out. Probably the closest one that I have is I just don't do the steamy romance kind of things, or going into especially erotica, but that's more because it's who I am, because I'm asexual and I don't have that kind of sexual experience. So I know I have a harder time conveying something truthful and honest and relatable for those kind of genres. Other than that, I don't think there's a bad genre yet. Arch nemesis. What are the most common excuses you've given to yourself or outside forces you've overcome that prevent or prevented you from writing your story or crush your confidence? I think the big one is you're not good enough. I have told myself that so many times, and that one always seems to do the trick. So I haven't had a whole lot of other ones to think about, but that one has definitely stuck, and it's something that I work on every day. Superhero name. When you began, did you consider using a pen name? If you're using a pen name now, why did you decide to use one? If not, why did you use your real name? I kind of have a pen name. I started writing as Jennifer Akers, which, is my name, and I started building a career under that name before I got married. So I continued to use that name because that's the name that I started with, and I'd already built up somewhat of a platform, so I didn't want to throw confusion in there. So it's a pen name-esque sort of thing. Avengers Assemble. Tag a few of your favorite people to do this tag on their channel. Okay, so for this one, I am going to tag Brianna Morgan and Laura over at Laura Writes. I will link their channels down below so you can go check them out. They're awesome, and if you're not following them already, you should be, so hurry up and do that. So that's all I've got for you today. If you liked it, please like, subscribe, and ding that bell so you can see future videos from me and be notified of when they come up. This lets me know that you like what you saw and you want to see more of it. Also, if you ever have a video that you want to see, let me know down in the comments. So I will see you all next time. Bye! That's enough of that.